Welcome to my special edition sports show. Today, we will break down the World Cup. Yes, we're on the bracket stage. Now, of course, I don't want you to see it clearly. It's got all my answers on there. So, some pretty decent things. Before this started, I picked all the teams. Obviously, there were 16 teams moving on. I got 13 of the 16 right. And most of them were pretty obvious. The one few, like Russia, I didn't think they would make it, and they did. It's because Egypt played so poorly. And then, of course, I thought Germany would make it with Mexico, and Germany just, I don't know if they knew the World Cup was happening, but man, they just, one of the worst efforts. I mean, just no offense. Pretty poor. And the one other team I thought that it would be, was it Colombia and Poland? And Poland, obviously didn't do what they were supposed to. I mean, they should at least had to lose to Senegal, Poland, and then, that was pretty much it. If that loss is a tie, they're one of the teams advancing. So, that being said, we got some marquee matchups to look forward to in this next round, and interesting brackets, of course. Injuries. A lot of guys banged up at the one today. The James Rodriguez from Colombia, calf strain. He was hampered the first game. He seemed okay the second game, and then this last game he came out after 30 minutes. So, what's his status going to be? Probably not very good. Now, the first thing when I look at the brackets, it's where there's there's like actually half of the games. It's the first time these teams have ever played each other in the World Cup. Very interesting. And I'll go over each matchup. So you have the first team we have is Uruguay, right? They were undefeated. They kind of did what they needed to do. They beat teams, and then they came last game against Russia, who looked pretty impressive, and they wiped them out. They're going against Portugal, who won one, tied two. They were in the bracket with Spain, so a tougher bracket. Per se. Now we have, of course, Suarez and Ronaldo, right? The two, top players on their teams for that one. And we have, it's the first time that these teams have met in World Cup play, Uruguay and Portugal. So that'll be an interesting matchup. I just see it in this case as the best player is going to win it out, and that'll be Portugal. They've played decent, so is Uruguay, but I just think Portugal will be too much. I think Ronaldo will be the difference. He's been probably one of the top 4 players in this tournament so far. I mean, his first game he exploded on, scored 3 goals. He scored when they needed him to. He's just at the top of the game, and I see Portugal winning a close game. Like maybe a 2-1 game, but come down to the end, very close game, exciting game. It's probably one of the most exciting first round matchups for this round of 16 matchup. So I say Portugal and 2-1 winner. Now the next game is France and Argentina. Sounds like a good matchup before the World Cup. These teams have played twice before in like 1930, 1978, so no World Cup play recently for France and Argentina. Of course, you have Pogba and Mbappe for France, and you have Messi for Argentina, the big star there. Messi came up big when he needed to, but he wasn't super impressive. And I think more of that isn't even him, it's his team. His team is pretty rough. Coaching's not that good. The goaltending was suspect. Hopefully they keep the guy they had in last game. The backup, he did better than their starter did. So with that being said, France they were two wins and a tie. Argentina was 1-1-1. France, to me, they just seem like they have trouble scoring. They move the ball around a lot. They look good, like pretty from far, but far from pretty, and that's kind of France. But I still see them winning this game, sadly, because it would have been nice to see a um, Ronaldo-Messi matchup, but I think France wins this one, and it's going to be a 1-0 game. Just Argentina, they're just not a good all-around team. Next matchup, you have Brazil and Mexico. Now, Brazil, 2 wins and a tie. Mexico, 2 wins. They look phenomenal, and they had the loss against Sweden. They looked very poor in that one. Contijo, Neymar Jr., obviously top of the line for Brazil. And Mexico can counter with that. They have a tremendous offense, too, and they have Carlos Vela and Chicharito. Which Mexico team will come out? Would it be the two that played the first 2 games where they looked awesome on offense? Now you see that win against Germany is kind of devalued a little because of how poor Germany was. So it wasn't as impressive as we thought it was. But still, Mexico has a good offense. They can strike anytime. And the same thing with Brazil. Mexico's goalkeeper, Ochoa, he's pretty solid in net. I mean, most of the goals given up, just nothing he can really do about. But I just see Brazil has 3 wins and a tie against Mexico. The last time they played in the World Cup was 2014. It was a 0-0 tie. I see Brazil just being too much for Mexico, and Brazil with a 2-1 win. It'll be an entertaining game with a lot of chances, but that's the way it is. Sorry. Next up, Belgium. Japan. Romelu Lukaku for Belgium and Shinji Kagawa. I said that right, for Japan. Belgium was 3-0, and Japan was 1-1-1. The last time they had actually played in the World Cup was 2002. It was a 2-2 draw. Belgium just looks too good. I mean, even like they've just looked good every game. When they need to score like they have, when they didn't need to score and they had to keep it close, a 1-0 game, they found a way to win. Belgium just finds ways to win. They're a solid team all around. I see them winning this one. I think it's going to be like a 2-0 Belgium win. I see them dominating the game throughout. On the other side of the bracket, we have Spain and Russia. So Spain, 1 win, 2 ties. Russia, 2 impressive wins, and then the loss to Uruguay. Diego Costa, 3 goals, and Denis Cheryshev, maybe that's it, 3 goals as well. So you have 2 power scoring, players, for 1 for each team. Russia is the home team, but Spain's just a better all-around team. Russia just happened to be good for them, and they got to play Saudi Arabia and Egypt, and you saw how bad, especially Egypt, was. And when Russia had a true test against Uruguay, they failed pretty poorly. Spain played pretty tough competition throughout. I see Spain winning it. It's going to be a 2-1 win for Spain. Russia, it's a good showing. They got into the round of 16, being a home team. Nobody, that wasn't expected, and for them to have, 2 games where they pretty much dominated, good for them. And they'll lose to just 2 quality teams they face. Next up, Croatia and Denmark. Now, Croatia, 3 wins, 3-0. Denmark, 1 win, 2 ties. Denmark played some tough soccer. They have Christian Eriksen, and for Croatia, it's Luka Modric. Croatia's just a better team as far as I'm concerned, all around. In every facet of the game, I like them. I think they're a really solid team. I, picked them from the beginning to go far. They're just, they're just a really good team. I like them. So I see Croatia winning 2-0 in that game. Denmark's solid. It's a shame for them. If they played somebody else, they might have a shot, but not against Croatia. Croatia's just too many players and too many ways to win. Next up, Sweden and Switzerland. Sweden, they lost to Germany when they had a man up because, Germany got red carded and they had a player hurt for part of that game. And Sweden couldn't beat Germany, who looked horrible in every other game. But then Sweden comes back and just tags Mexico. After it looks like Mexico had the advantage in the first half, Sweden came back and just dominated that game and played a great half of soccer. So, as far as, like I said, 2-on-1, you have Andres Granqvist, he's a Sweden superstar, and you have Herdan Shaqiri for Switzerland. Not sure if I got the first name right, sorry. Switzerland, they're a solid team, but Sweden's just looked good. And for Sweden, they played so well, and Emil Forsberg he's not even shown up much. I mean, he's had some opportunities. He's missed the net a bunch of times. If he shows up and starts putting balls in nets, Sweden will look even better. I see Sweden winning that game. And it's just going to be a 2-1 win. It'll be a pretty solid game, but I think Sweden will have control of most of it. I just like their goalie's good. Forwards do well. They move the ball around good. And like I said, if Emil Forsberg can get moving, they will be in good shape, Sweden. Last matchup, you have Colombia, and 2 wins and a loss going against England, who 2 wins and a loss. They lost to Belgium, England, in a game that was somewhat meaningless for both teams. But, how is James Rodriguez? Is he going to play? Is he going to be okay? He's probably not going to be 100% if he can play. So that's a major blow to Colombia, and really the one guy that can light him on fire. You have, Mina can step up and fill some of those shoes. I mean, but, you have the Golden Boot leader, which means leading goal scorer, Harry Kane, who's been pretty much unstoppable for England. England has looked really good. They've just looked really good. So I will definitely say England. And based on, I don't think James Rodriguez is going to play. He might try, but it's going to be the same thing as the other day. They're going to have to sub him really early. I see England with a 3-1 win. Pretty much dominate that whole game. And that's pretty much it for that. So we have, going back now to the quarterfinals, we'll have Portugal and France as far as I was concerned. I see Portugal beating France. I don't think France they can move the ball around. They'll look dominant. It'll almost be like the Mexico-Sweden game in a way. They'll look dominant, France, but they won't put anything in the net. And Portugal will find a way to score. With one of the best players on the field, Ronaldo, Portugal will find a way to score, and they will beat France 1-0. Brazil and Belgium. This is a tricky one for me. I like Brazil. They're fun to watch. Before the World Cup started, that was the team I was asking people about, thinking, is Brazil going to win? Are they a top team? I thought they were, and I still think they are, but Belgium just looks too good all around. I see Belgium finding a way to win this game in a 2-1 victory, and that'll be the end of Neymar's World Cup. Sad, but true. Belgium is just an all-around good team. Now we have Spain and Croatia. Spain's a decent team. They're good all around, but they're not special. I think Croatia's a special team here. I think they play very well as a unit. Good team play. I see Croatia is going to score on Spain. 2-1 win. I see Croatia going on, and that'll be the end of the road for Spain. And England, Sweden. Sweden's a good team. They play well together. And every time I see the yellow and blue, I think of IKEA, Sweden. But unfortunately, they're going to lose to England. I think Sweden's goalie will keep them in the game, but it'll still be an England 2-1 win. They'll pretty much control the pace of that game. And so that would give us in the one semifinals. We have Portugal, Belgium. We have Croatia and England. So Portugal, Belgium. It's an interesting matchup. You have the best player in the field being Ronaldo. And usually that's who wins, but not in this case. Belgium is just too powerful all around, and I think they will shut down Portugal and Ronaldo pretty good. And I see Belgium a 1-0 winner. Now Croatia, England. This could be the best game of the tournament, and it'll be, if I'm wrong, it'll be a Harry Kane coming out party. He'll score a winning goal, and England will beat Croatia, and this guy will be on his way for an England-Belgium rematch, which will be phenomenal, and that'll get Harry Kane the Golden Boot. But that being said, I don't see it that way. I see Croatia again. They're just a solid team all around. I see Croatia coming up and beating England. And this thing will go to the wire. It'll be probably decided in extra time. And we will have Croatia with a 3-2 win. It'll be a high-scoring game as opposed to most of the other games. But that's the firepower you'll have in that game. And with the desperation when it gets late, these teams could trade goals. So now for our finals, we have Belgium and Croatia. Wow, to me, these teams match up very well against each other. You could play this game 10 times and 5-1 and 5 the other way. I could see that happening. But I think in this case, it's going to be one team had a little bit of a harder road, and I think in the end of it, from group play, they had a harder road. From going through the brackets, they have had a harder road. They'll have had a harder road, and I see that team being the winner here. And although I like the Croatia team, I see Belgium being the winner. And Belgium in a 3-2 win for your finals. Exciting, lots of goal scoring. Belgium wins this, and they are going to be the World Cup champs. Hooray for Belgium. So third place game, that would be Portugal and England. And I see England winning that game in 3-2 fashion, with Harry Kane and Ronaldo both scoring. And so Harry Kane could still be the leading scorer, but Belgium will take home the big trophy. So I laid it all out there. It's pretty much not much different than I thought before the tournament started, except for I thought Brazil probably would be the one with the chance, but just looking at it now, I think Belgium just looks more solid, and Brazil, they seem like they get banged up a lot. Too much acting for the referees and flopping. We gotta stop the flopping, guys. Let's be manly about it. I love soccer, but we gotta be more manly. Stop the flop. That should be the new little key phrase. Stop the flop. So, have a good night, and let me know what you think about this. And we will see how it works, and we'll have an end of cup commentary later.